How's everybody doing tonight? Fight Song just came out about 10 days ago, so I'm super excited to share this piece of art with you. The task I set for myself with this one was to try to reimagine the Wizard of Oz and set it in a 21st century American suburb and see what the hell would happen. So my Dorothy is a guy named Bob Coffin. And all you really need to know before we get into this excerpt is that Bob has been a computer programmer for 10 years. And on the day that we're going to meet him in the novel, his boss has just given him a plaque, which is half plaque, half clock. Sort of like terribly commemorating his decade given to this particular game service. So now he's biking home and he has the plaque on the bicycle with him. Bob Coffin's not on the bicycle by himself. There's a corporate rucksack slung across his chest diagonally, the bandolier of the working stiff. It pushes 20 pounds tonight because of the weighty plaque. He pedals and pants and perspires, turning onto a quiet stretch of residential road, riding in the bike lane next to a tall oleander that lines this street. His subdivision, his house, his wife, his kids, his computer, and online life are all only another half mile ahead. But here's when Coffin's arch enemy, Nicholas Schumann, pulls up next to Bob and his bike. Schumann slows his SUV, revs the engine, rolling down the passenger window so he can scream out at Coffin, "Shall we engage in a friendly test of masculine fortitude?" You see, Schumann is a douche. A douche of such a pungently competitive variety that he carries a picture of himself wearing his college football uniform in his wallet. And he shows it to people. Bob will be huddled with the other dads of the subdivision at one barbecue or another, and Schumann will whip out the photo and talk about how he single-handedly guided Purdue to an overtime win against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and how nobody thought they had a chance, but as the quarterback he had to keep his team focused and poised and grinding, etc., etc. All the neighborhood fathers hang on Schumann's probably fabricated remixes from his glory days. He has these dads trained to sniff out Bob's lack of interest in sports, and has even said things in front of them like, "Gentlemen, it appears that Coffin doesn't enjoy the great American pastime of pigskin." They shake their astonished heads, their eyes eyeing Bob like the pissed in the sangria. "You really don't like the pastime of pigskin?" these disgusted dads ask. "Football's fine," says Bob. "Football is like storming the beaches of Normandy. Football is like a bunch of samurai let loose on the field to kill or be killed," Schumann says. "I give up," Coffin mutters. "That's your problem, amigo," says Schumann. "You can't give up, not when Notre Dame's linebackers are blitzing your backside. Believe me, that's a life lesson." Now, Coffin answers Schumann's request for a duel of masculine fortitude. "You want to race me?" "Yep, Psycho Schumann wants to rumble." "You have an unfair advantage." "Shit, you're going to have to be more specific. I have like 30 advantages over you." The plaque's weight makes the bandolier creep deeper into Coffin's skin. "No, I mean the SUV is your advantage." "I won't go over 7 miles an hour, man. Come on, let's see what you're made of." It's a despicable truth about the human animal that people often thrust themselves into the crosshairs of unwinnable equations. Logic is meaningless. Lessons learned get heaved from windows. All that life experience jets the coop with myopic majesty, and it's "hear ye, hear ye. Gather round and take a gander as another dumb man makes a monkey out of himself." In Bob Coffin's particular monkeyness, on this particular evening lies with the plaque and the self-hate at being honored for wasting 10 years of his life on a job that does nothing productive or interesting. A job that shines the light on the fact that Bob himself has settled into curdling routine. Rationally, he knows he can't beat Schumann, not piloting a bike while he has a combustible engine. But Bob doesn't care. He can't care. There have been too many unwinnable contests in his life, and at this moment, Coffin is hell-bent on seeing how he does against the Notre Dame pass rush. How he stacks up to what might be categorized as an insurmountable obstacle. Is he the kind of underdog that flouts expectations, or is Bob Coffin as miraculously pitiful as the subdivision fathers say? So there Coffin is, shirking the boring tradition of reason. There he is yelling to Schumann, "You're on, you rat bastard." And thus, the contest is underway. So far, so good. Schumann stays at 7 miles an hour. Coffin pulls ahead. He's winning. He's a full SUV length ahead, and his lead is growing. All the sweating and panting and pain from the clawing bandolier jabbing into Coffin are worth it. Adversity is a stepping stone. It's in contests such as these that people disclose the true fight in their hearts. But next, Schumann has the vehicular gall to shatter the established ceiling of 7 miles per hour. He pulls up even to Bob, flashes a Nicky All-America grin. Then he pulls ahead. Then Schumann toots the fucking horn. He toys with Coffin, slowing down and saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, they are neck and neck going into the home stretch." "You're speeding up," says Bob. "Are you questioning my honor? What's the speedometer say?" "I fight fair and square," says Schumann, looking sort of sinister, "until I don't." And here's when a certain self-celebrated college football hero reveals the existential interior of a rancorous cheater. He edges his SUV a bit into the bike lane, almost clipping Coffin. Bob swerves into the rough patch of dead grass along the side of the road, only a few feet before he'd be rammed into that unruly oleander. "Watch it," says Bob. "Do you know what your problem is, Coffin? I'm being run into a fucking oleander?" "No, you don't have any balls." But Bob will not be testicularly ridiculed. Hell no, he won't. Last week, last month, for the last 10 years, yes, ridicule away, mock Bob like it's nobody's business. But tonight, he's turning things around. Tonight, he hemorrhages pragmatism. Tonight, he cremates common sense, sends its ashes up into the atmosphere in a stunning cloud. What have these things brought him besides boredom, mediocrity? So he says, "Fuck yourself, Schumann." And he takes his left hand off of the handlebar in preparation of giving Schumann the bird, except once his hand moves, the plock's weight makes the bike go herky-jerky. Balance faltering, front wheel turning quickly to an unanticipated angle, and Coffin flies over the handlebars. He is airborne. He has left the bike behind and travels a few feet ahead of it, though this trip will be short-lived, and soon his voyage shall transition into an excruciating landing. The bike crashes, and so does Bob Coffin. And the valiant Schumann, he doesn't even pump the brakes. He keeps driving. It's funny how people expose their camouflage spirits in moments of emergency. Bob watches the taillights disappear. Thanks for your time.